What's up everybody, my name is Kyle, and today I'm going to talk to you about what Banshees are. The Banshee is a female spirit-like creature that is regarded in Irish folklore as an omen of death and a messenger from the underworld. There are different depictions of the Banshee, from a woman with long red hair and very pale skin to even appearing in other forms such as a hooded crow, hare and weasel, animals which are associated in Ireland with witchcraft. The most common description is of an older woman with stringy grey hair, rotten teeth and fiery red eyes. She is alleged to have a comb in her hair too, which has led to an island superstition that finding a comb on the ground is considered bad luck. The first stories of the Banshee go as far back as the early 8th century, where in an old Irish tradition, women would sing a lament to signify one's passing. This was also known as keening. Keeners accepted alcohol as a payment, which churches frowned upon and believed these keeners would be punished in the eyes of God and were forced to become banshees. Another legend is related to the barn owl cry. In ancient battles, owls would screech and take flight if they noticed an army approaching, forewarning the defending army. Many see banshees as an urban legend or entertaining folklore, while others believe in their existence. Banshees are most famously known for one thing: their thin but piercing scream, an omen of death. The scream is referred to as keening, which I mentioned earlier. The Banshee cry is said to predict the death of a member of one of Ireland's 5 major families: the O'Gradys, O'Neills, O'Briens, O'Connors, or the Kavanaghs. Even if these families moved from Ireland, the Banshee will be close by, always following no matter where the Irish family move around the globe. If a human is found watching a Banshee and they become aware of this, they will disappear into a cloud of mist. This is accompanied by the sound of fluttering or birds flapping their wings. The Banshee, although a symbol of death, has been stated not to cause death, but to merely warn of it. I will now read a Banshee scary story. This was written by Waylon Jordan, so without further ado, turn the lights out, wrap up in a blanket, and get chills. Cry of the Banshee. Caitlin and her sister Maeve had been playing in the fields all day. They were especially close for sisters and could always be counted on to find mischief when left to their own devices. Today they were playing hide and seek as the sun was lowering in the sky. Caitlin knew that Maeve was hiding in the tall grass and she had dropped to her knees to creep up behind her. Maeve was only 10 and Caitlin enjoyed taking whatever chance she had to scare her younger sister. Out of the corner of her eye, Caitlin suddenly spied movement in the tall grass. She raised up a bit to see what was there and froze when she spotted an old crone in a black hooded cloak slowly creeping through the field at a distance. It was then she had heard the faintest keening sound coming from the robed woman's direction. Caitlin's heart was pounding. Could it be the Banshee? She sat there, unable to move, as she focused on the old woman when she began to realise that the sound was slowly getting louder and the crone seemed to be moving in the direction of her sister and herself. Finding her feet and her voice all at once, Caitlin sprang up from the grass. Maeve! Maeve! Run home to Mam! The Banshee's coming this way, and she's surely up to no good. Maeve didn't stop to question, for she knew from her sister's voice that she spoke the truth. The younger sister took off like the crack of whip, heading for home. Caitlin wasn't far behind her sister, and she watched as the younger girl slipped through the barbed wire fence ahead. Unable to help herself, Caitlin looked back over her shoulder and screamed as she saw the crone moving more quickly behind her and realised that keening wail was louder than ever. Finally reaching the fence herself, Caitlin jumped over as the wail became a scream to curdle the blood. Caitlin felt a chill run down her spine as she felt a tug on the back of her dress. She had gotten caught on the barbed wire, and as she struggled to free herself, a shadow suddenly loomed over her. The crone stood there, staring at her for a long moment. Her white hair blew free in the wind, and her grey skin seemed to crack along her face as her mouth opened to its fullest. The Banshee pointed toward Caitlin's home and screamed so loud the girl was certain she'd never hear again. Caitlin ripped free of the barbed wire and ran for home as fast as she could. When the house came in sight, she saw the door open and waiting for her, and she almost collapsed as she ran across the threshold and slammed the door behind her. It was then that she saw a sight that would stay with her the rest of her life. Maeve stood in the kitchen door with tears in her eyes, and just beyond her baby sister, their mother lay dead on the floor. And that was my take on the Banshee, an entertaining Irish folktale for some, but a frightening reality for others. So comment down below what facts you have on the Banshee that I haven't mentioned. Do you or someone you know have a real encounter or scary story to tell? And what do you think? Folktale or real? Like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!